Test, 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 test. My eyes are looking rough. It was late night. All right, here we go. Don't worry, I didn't go drinking. I just was up late. Oh, here we go. Hey, it's Tyson, and I am in Las Vegas right now for a uh, Jason Selk event. It's a little seminar I'm attending that he's putting on. It starts in about 45 minutes or so, but I wanted to get in a quick episode. And today I want to talk about delegation and the art of delegation. It's not something that it's not just about getting rid of the things that you don't want to do. It's not that. It's about actually taking things that off your plate so that you can do the things that are the most important things. I think this is a really fitting one to do while I'm in Vegas for Jason's event because he talks about focusing on really that one thing, like one thing at a time. What's that one thing you can do to move the ball forward, one inch at a time, and really focusing on the most important tasks. And this is really what it's about. And so I've talked about this quite a bit over the years, and delegation is super important, but it's also really, really difficult because sometimes it's just easier to just do that one little thing. Oh, I'm just going to get it done. But then all those things pile up. You talk about task switching, which is another issue, and it really becomes a problem. Okay. So we're going to talk about delegation today fairly quickly. These are bite-sized episodes, so that's why I do it. But uh, it delegation matters. Okay, it really does matter. It's something that will take you if you can figure this out. All right, if you can take delegation and figure it out, it's going to help propel you. Right, it's going to help you grow your firm. It's going to help you, and growth can mean a lot of different things. Jim and I talk about that a lot. Growth doesn't mean adding 50 offices. Growth just means whatever success is to you. So growth is getting better at your craft. Success could be that you're able to uh, spend more time with your family, right? There's growth can mean many, many different things, but it begins with delegation, being able to offload some of the things that you shouldn't be doing to other people. It's really going to empower your team too. And this is another thing too. We had recently we had a changeover with an attorney, and in speaking to the case manager was really interesting because when I was talking to her, I told her, I was like, listen, we're going to be relying on you more. And she felt so much more confident. And she was way happier because she knew that we trusted her. Okay. The attorney that was working with her did not trust her, was doing a lot of those small tasks themselves. I'm not going to say if it's a man or woman because it doesn't matter. But they were taking those tasks on themselves. And so the case manager just didn't feel valued. She didn't feel trusted. And whenever I'd let her know, hey, we're going to start relying on you a lot more, she loved it. And so there's that part of it too that you have to really remember. It's not just about offloading things from you. Your team, they want more to do. They want to be trusted. They want to be empowered. So remember that part of it. All right, so let's go through some things, ways of identifying some tasks, and we're going to start with three. Okay, we're going to make this really easy on you, especially if you're having issues trying to delegate. Okay, so any routine tasks or time-consuming tasks, these are things that I will use the example of scanning, right? So hopefully you all no one is scanning, but if you're solo, just a true solo, just you, then you might be scanning. But if you can offload those tasks, but scanning is one of those things. It's a really routine task. It may not even be that time consuming, but it's a really routine task that you can offload. Anything that's really time consuming, many of you might try to fight me on this one, but it's fine. Legal research, if you could find a way to offload that, legal research could be really time consuming. And if you can find someone in your office or even outsource it where they're doing your legal research, and even if if you insist on writing whatever you need to write, that could be something that could help you help speed up the process for you. So, and start with the tasks that are necessary. Okay, so we're talking about where do we start when it comes to delegation? the tests are necessary, but they're not necessarily, they don't necessarily require a level of expertise, especially your level of expertise. So we're talking about scanning, scheduling, document filing, basic research. And then now let's move on to number 2, tasks that are outside your expertise. All right. How about that? You don't know everything. No one does. So you're going to identify those tasks that someone else could perform better than you. And this could include, it could be research, right? It might be the writing part of it and many other administrative duties. Maybe you're not very good at making phone calls to certain people. Okay. That's something where you can delegate to someone else. All right. And then let's go to number 3. And this is where there's really opportunities for team growth. So number 3 is identify opportunities for team growth. So look for tasks that where maybe junior staff could take over, or an associate, like drafting documents. Maybe you have an associate, or maybe even you have a case manager that you could trust to draft some higher level documents. They're not. You can give them some sort of criteria to use, but it's going to require a level of expertise, but not quite your level of expertise. And they can draft these documents under your supervision or under someone else's supervision in the firm. That's a sort of a elevated step of this, where you have got someone underneath you that's then delegating to someone else. Which would be pretty good. But remember, you've got to choose the right people for delegation. You can't delegate every task to one person, right? You gotta figure out who the right person is. Consider workload, right? Some people might be overworked, and so a mistake that many people make is they go back to the well, right? They go to the same person over and over and over again. Next thing you know, you've burned that person out. So don't do that. Provide training. This is another part of it too. All right, so right now I'm training a different case manager on some things, and it's time consuming. But you know what? It's going to save me a ton of time in the future on certain things. And so we're doing some demand training and some hammer letter training and all that, where I'm really going deep with her, but it's going to save me a ton of time on the back end. So consider the training part of it too. So remember that. So I'm going to wrap things up. This is a lot of this is about empowerment, not micromanagement. This is about taking things off your plate. This is about freeing up your time to do the most important tasks. And as you're doing this, provide feedback. Give your team feedback so that they know and they can get better. Don't just, go to your office and complain because they're not doing it right. Give them feedback so they can get better. Okay, because I know a lot of you probably do that. All right. Mastering this can really transform your practice and your life. So please work on this. This is a skill that you have to work on. As a reminder, if you have something you want me to cover on these episodes, make sure that you send me a text message, 314-501-9260. I get a lot of great ideas from you all, so please keep them coming. I would love to hear from you. So give me a text. Until next week, remember that consistent action is the blueprint that turns your goals into reality. Take care.